That night, the sky was dark without stars. The cold air pierced through the bones, carrying an ominous feeling that lingered in the atmosphere. The old apartment building stood tall on the outskirts of the city, its walls worn, the paint peeling off. Its hallways were long and silent, lit only by dim, flickering lights that seemed to struggle to stay alive. On the third floor, a room had just been occupied. Cardboard boxes were still scattered in the corners, some belongings yet to be unpacked. The new tenant sat on the edge of the bed, staring blankly at their phone screen. Moving into a new apartment was supposed to be a fresh start, but ever since arriving, something had felt off. From the corner of their eye, they noticed something beneath the door, a small gap wide enough to reveal the darkness outside. Every time they glanced at it, an unsettling sensation crept in, like someone was standing on the other side, peering in. The clock on the wall read 2:57 a.m. The air in the room grew colder. The night breeze slipped through a slightly open window, carrying distant, muffled noises. Everything seemed normal, until the knock came. Tock, tock, tock. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. The heartbeat quickened. There shouldn't be anyone visiting at this hour. With hesitant steps, they approached the door and peeked through the peephole. No one was there. The hallway was empty. Only the long shadows cast by the hanging ceiling lights swaying gently. Maybe it was just a neighbor. Maybe just the wind. But before they could step away, the knock came again, louder, closer. Their trembling hand reached for the doorknob, then stopped. A strange sensation filled their chest. Something wasn't right. From under the door, that tiny gap revealed something that shouldn't be there. A finger, pale, long, with blackened nails scratching lightly against the floor, slowly creeping forward as if searching or feeling for something. Their body froze. Breath caught in their throat. The finger kept sliding in, getting closer to their bare feet on the cold floor. With shaking hands, they grabbed their phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam of light struck the floor in front of the door. In an instant, the finger vanished. Silence returned to the room. No sound, no movement. But the air inside felt heavier, colder than before. That night, sleep was impossible. The next day, while passing a neighbor in the hallway, they asked casually, "Someone knocked on my door last night. Does anyone on this floor stay up late?" The elderly woman in front of them suddenly stiffened. Her face paled, eyes widening as if the question itself was forbidden. "You've seen it too?" Her voice trembled. A heavy feeling settled in the chest. The woman swallowed before continuing. "Every night, at exactly 3 in the morning, someone knocks on a door in this building. No one knows who or what it is. But one thing is certain." She gripped her sweater tightly. "Never open it." The hallway air turned colder. From that moment on, fear began to creep in. That night, every precaution was taken. The door was locked tight, a chair wedged against it, every gap sealed shut. But when the clock struck 3 a.m., the knocking returned. Louder, faster. There was no sound in the hallway, only the banging that grew more aggressive, as if something outside was trying to force its way in. Then, suddenly, it stopped. An unnatural silence filled the room, as if time itself had frozen. And then, the whisper came. Low, raspy, and terrifying. A voice just beyond the door. "I know you're in there." Breath hitched. The body refused to move. "I've seen you." Eyes stared straight ahead, too afraid to blink. This time, open the door. The whisper turned into soft laughter. Whatever was outside was waiting, enjoying the fear filling the air. The phone suddenly vibrated. The screen lit up on its own. And just 2 words. "I'm in." The door creaked. It moved, all by itself. The chair that should have blocked it slowly scraped against the floor. The air inside the room grew colder, like something had slithered in without a sound. Breathing became heavy. Eyes scanned the room in panic. There was nothing there, or so it seemed. But then, in the corner of the room, something moved. A shadow emerged from the darkness stall, thin, with an unnatural body shape. Its face was obscured, except for two small red dots glowing like embers. It didn't move. It only stood there, watching, until it smiled. No human should have. And then, everything went black. Morning arrived under a gray sky. Neighbors whispered among themselves, staring at the wide-open door at the end of the corridor. The room was empty. No signs of life, no belongings left behind. Only one thing remained: a phone lying on the floor. Its screen still illuminated, displaying the last message received the night before. Just 2 words. "Your turn."